Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I thought I'd show you how to make my version of Peter Pan. Some people have actually said he even looks like Link, so we're going to make him as Peter Pan. I'm going to call him Peter Pan, but if you're making a Link, then maybe this will be a design that you might want to try. I'm going to use red for the feather in his cap. I'm using caramel for the colour of his hair, skin tone. I'm using a lighter green, and then I'm actually going to use a darker green than the one I have here. I'm going to use this dark green from Rainbow Loom, which is nicer, I think. And then I'm using it's called Light Coffee. It's from Loom bands. I'm not entirely enthusiastic about these bands, but they're a colour that I don't have from Rainbow Loom, so that's why I do tend to use them. And a couple of dark brown. So we're also going to use 2 mini pony beads. They're 4mm by 7mm. If you don't have those, you can just use black bands. That would work just as well. Alright, let's get started. Our loom, it's going to be a single loom in the offset configuration. The offset configuration means that columns 1 and 3 are slightly lower than column 2. Column 2 is slightly above. The arrow is pointing towards you, or the open part of the peg is pointing towards you, and we're going to be double banding. Now, double banding means you take 2 bands and you place them on the loom together at the same time, like this. We're going to do the darker green for his hat and his leggings, and the lighter green is going to be for his little jerkin. So let's get started. We're going to do the darker green up here for his hat. And unless otherwise mentioned, it is going to be double banding. Crossover bands and things like that will be single bands. So this is for his hat. Now, we're going to do 2 from the centre to the right, and 2 from the centre to the left. And we're going to put an end cap on this centre peg here. So take a single band, wrap it once and twice, and that will be popped on this peg here. We're then going to take a single band and stretch it across, and this one we're going to try and make it a bit tighter, so we're going to take a single band, stretch it, figure 8, so you're capping this band, and we're going to pop that on here like so. Now we're going to start using some caramel for the back of his hair. This is the back of his hat, and this part is the top of his hat, the front. 2 caramel bands either side like this. Now before we go any further, what we're going to do is use our hook to push past that end cap and grab the 2 top green bands. Put your finger on that end cap to keep it there, and just loop the left side in, and then we're going to loop the right side in as well. So grab those 2 and loop those in as well. Do not loop the centre, just these 2 on either side. Let's continue with our hair. We have hair here, and we have from the centre to the right, from the centre to the left. For the back of the neck, we have one here, and we're going to put an end cap right here for the back of the neck. It's a single band wrapped twice, and pop that on that peg there. We're also going to put a crossover band here, so a single caramel band to cross over there. Alright, let's just do a little bit of fancy footwork. Dig down past that end cap and grab those 2 bottom caramel bands, and we're going to loop up, then go for the 2 top, which are the left, and they get looped to their side. The 2 to the right get looped to their side. We're going to loop up. Now you also want to loop these 2 bottom green ones, so push that end cap out the way just to grab those 2 bottom green ones, and they go up to here, and we're going to stop when we have all of these done. Okay, we'll loop to this side and we'll loop this side. Alright, so we're going to stop at this point. We don't want to go any further than these 3 pegs. Push everything down. You need to fit more on here as a layer, so you need some space. Alright, we're moving to our skin tone bands. We're going to start at peg 1, 2 and 3. So from 3 to 4, a pair of skin tone, and below it a pair of skin tone, and either side. There's one side. Here's the other side. We're going to do the chin, two to the left, I'm sorry, to the right, and two to the left. We're going to do two more down for the neck, and now we're going to put a single band across these 3 pegs as our crossover. Now before we go much further, we need to do eyes, but before we do our eyes, let's put our ears on. Now he's got pointy little ears, so we're going to take a single band and wrap it around your hook once and twice, and you're going to use capped bands. So single band, figure 8, loop it on itself and rejoin, and one more, another capped band, and slide that on like so. So this is his first ear, and we're going to pop it right here. Now before we go further, take a single band, skin tone, you're going to put it on one side of the hook, the peg here. You're going to put it on and twist it once, twice, and 3 times, and then we'll do the other ear, single band, wrap it once and twice, and again we do our first capped band and a second capped band, and we'll pop that on this ear here, or side of the face, that is the ear. So this side of the face here, like so. We need to do our eyes. Now the eyes, as I said, I'm using beads. If you don't have beads, you can use bands. Take a single band, wrap it once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times, and that is the equivalent of 1 bead. So you do that twice, and you would slide those on just as I'm doing with the beads. So with the 2 beads, I'm going to slide that on. You can use a hook to slide on if you have one that fits the beads down, a metal threader, floss, whatever you do normally to thread your beads. If you do want to make a metal threader, I have a video tutorial on how to do one using a twisty tie. Put your hook down here and grab the top of that band and pop it on the top of this peg, and that now acts as a bit of a crossover band. Now push things down. We need to put more on this peg here, so it's going to get a bit tight and squeezy. 2 caramel bands, if I can get them on, from the left to the centre and from the centre to the right. And we're just going to leave those there for the minute. Okay, let's concentrate back down here. Using, oh gosh, that's an enormous hook, I don't want quite that large. Grab a hook and pull the end cap, that caramel end cap. You're going to pull it up and over so that it sits on top of those 2 bands that we're using for the neck. Alright, that's important because that ties the neck in to the back of the head. 2 more skin tone, and we'll pop those there. Now we're going to use the lighter green for his the little jerkin that he's wearing. Okay, so let's first of all do his arms. We're going to do a pair of green, 1 pair, 2 pair, and we'll do 2 pair on the other side, 1 pair, 2 pair. We're going to move to skin tone, 3 pair each side. And we're going to do 3 down the other side, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do cap bands on each of these, or end caps. Single band, wrap once and twice, and pop on the end, and the same on the other side, once and twice, and pop on the end. Now let's loop these up. Using your hook, dig down, you're going to grab those 2 bottom skin tone, and we loop these up, And on the other side. Did I use 3 bands for this one? No, just 2. Felt like 3. Now we can take these off and just leave them on our hook for a second. Okay, we'll just leave these on our hook. Let's continue with his little jerkin. So from the center peg here, which is one under where we've done his neck, because this is the throat way, the throat band. So either side like this, and now we're going to count down 5. So 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 4. Move this so I have a bit of room. So 1, 2, 3, 4 either side. Let's do down the center as well. And 4. Now we go from the center to the right, from the center to the left. Push down. We're going to put an end cap on here, but first let's put our arms on so we can free up our hook. There's our first arm, and here is our second arm. And let's put an end cap, wrap it once and twice. It sits here on the middle. Now we're going to, oh, that's my cat sneezing, bless you again. Single band, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair like this, reclaim, and these pair of loops here you're going to sit on this peg right here like that. Let's do the same on the other side. Wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair, and again pop that on the end of that peg here. Some brown bands for his little belt. We're going to use 3 for his belt. Single band, pop it through your hook and twist once into a figure 8, and we'll pop that on the peg above where we just put this little knobbly bit. And another one in the center. It's going to go on the peg just slightly below, and again on the other side just here like that. I'm going to take a single band, green, the lighter green, and I'm going to stretch it across those 3 pegs here as a triangle. Now these triangles here, we do need to have a crossover band, so I'm going to put 2 there. Just, oh, let's make sure that it's green so that I don't forget, because that would be the worst thing to do. The reason we have to put them on after the fact is because these need to flip over before we can do that. We can put this bottom one on though, so we'll pop that there. Now we're going to do green bands to the end of our loom. Like that. Now we're going to do these tan ones, aren't we? We're going to do his little shoes. So take 2 and you're going to wrap them around your hook once and twice and slide onto a pair like that. Now do not reclaim the other end of your band. Slide it down, move it down your hook a little bit. You can take another 2 and wrap it around once and twice, and now you'll put these 2 back on like that. Take another 2, pop them on the end of your hook, and we're going to slide the first 2 loops over. There's one loop, there's the other loop. Now let's slide that band that we just wrapped around, and I try and do it so it doesn't get too gnarly, and then the last 2 like that. Move it down to the center of these 2 bands, reclaim, and we're going to do 2 pair of the dark green. So here's our first pair, and here's our second pair, like that. And you can angle this to point outwards towards the left and pop that little foot on here. Let's do the same for the other side. So 2 bands, wrap once and twice around your hook, 2 bands, and you're going to slide on. Don't reclaim, 2 bands, wrap once and twice, and now you reclaim them, and we're going to slide those onto 2 bands. There's the first 2. Here's our wrapped band, and here's our second 2, and move it again to the center and reclaim, and 2 pair of dark green. If I can pick up the dark green, would be nice. 1 pair and 2 pair. Again, angle your foot, and we'll pop it on the other leg right here. So now we need to loop up our little legs until we get to about this area here. I'm going to leave those there, I mustn't forget those. Dig down past the other bands and grab the bottom 2 and loop up again, and one more time. Same on this side. Dig down, loop up, loop up, loop up. Now we want the tunic to go on top of the leggings. So now we dig down and grab those 2 top green bands and loop them to their side. Dig down and grab the next 2 top bands and loop them to their side. And you can do the center one as well. Now this is going to get a little bit fiddly. What we have to do is dig down, loop this band, these pair of bands up, okay, on either side, like this. And now what we have to do is put our hook, as you can see, this band, now we've looped it, you've got the top part of it and the bottom part of it is down here. We're going to push our hook through the center of the bottom part of it, and you're going to grab the little knobbly bit that we put here, okay? Grab that and you're going to bring it round and pull it forward. Now if you've missed a band, which I can see I have, it's just there, you can just grab it and pull it over, it doesn't matter. Alright, twist this around so that the knobbly bit is pointing outward, and straighten it up so your bands are straight, not twisted. I have to say, I hate twisted bands, even worse on the face. So that's how you do that. If this is too difficult, the other way that you can do it, let me show you. We'll take this off. There's our little knobbly bit, okay? Have it on your fork, on your hook, like that. And you're going to basically lift those 4 loops up, slide on, and replace. So that does the same thing, okay? Because basically what you're wanting to do is capture all of those bands between these. Now once you're at this stage, we need to actually put our crossover band in. We mustn't forget those. So lift up the top 2 loops and put your crossover band in and replace the loops. It then gets stretched across onto that band peg with the brown band, and then you're going to lift the 2 top loops up from this side and stretch that crossover band over and replace those 2 like that. Then we can loop these 3 sides up, and again we're going to do the same as we did here, but this time we do have to go under here, under that bottom one, grab the brown, move it round to the back of the peg and pull forward, And the same with the middle one. Grab the two the two loops of the brown band and pull it forward. And here, grab the two loops, bring it around to the back of the peg and pull it forward. Again, we need to do the crossover band. So lift the two loops up, put your band in place, stretch it to the center, replace those two, and then this side, lift up, drag your crossover band over and replace, and then we can loop up again. Loop up to the arms, push them down. Now I like to do this center one last, this skin tone one. So I'll loop the green, but I'm going to leave that skin tone one to last. I'm going to do the two green shoulders either side like that, and then I'm going to do this skin tone so that the skin tone is the predominant colour on top. Okay, that's important. Now we're going to dig down and find these two skin tone. So dig all the way down, find those two and loop up. Okay, now here we have these two on this side, loop those across, and these two on this side, make sure I get both of them, loop those across, and we need to do these ones on the center pegs and loop up. We're going to loop up one more time on the center like that. Okay, now we're going to loop these two and these two. We're going to take these two brown bands or caramel bands and loop them to the center. Now before we loop this side here, we're going to take a single caramel, wrap it around your hook once and twice, and then you're going to get a pair, so two, slide the one you wrapped onto them like that and reclaim. And this is going to be his sort of tuft of hair that sticks out the front. Push your hook and you only want to grab the two caramel ones. Lift those up and you're going to slide the little tuft of hair on like so and place on the center like that. Now it's a good idea to loop this center one up because then that will be secure. So let's dig down and we want to find the two dark green bands and loop those up. If it's tight, move your hook around the outside of the peg and it releases some of that pressure. Let's do the same on the other side. If you need to, it's a handy trick to pull the band that you want out the way, and then as you push your hook down you can get them. Oh, I managed to get one. Let's see if I can actually get both of them. Push all the way back. I think I did. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle gently. Gently, gently does it. And there we go. And let's get these two. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Gently does it. We're going to loop up one side and the other side, the center, from the left to the center. Now we need to do our little red feather. We can't forget that, and it goes on this band here. So take a single red, wrap it once and twice, and then we're going to cap these. So figure 8, loop it on itself, slide on, reclaim, and you're going to do that for 4 bands. Like so, and then leaving this on your hook, as you pick this one up to loop it in, you're going to take it and flip that on and then secure it so that it's sitting up here like that. You're going to take 2 green bands, the darker green for his hat, slide your hook through, pull back to the back side of your peg, take one side that's closest to you up and over and pull tight in a slip knot. Now I use the back of a metal hook to take my creations off my loom. I hate it when things break. Gently does it, you do not want a snapped band now. And when you have lots of bands on the same peg, it can become a reality. You will have to dig for his eyes. You'll find that they have sunk in, and that's okay. Let's take him off the loom, straighten him up a bit. Sort his arms out, up and down, up and down. Now, his eyes will be in here, and we need to find them. There's one, pop it through. Let's find the other. There it is. Pop it through, just like that. There's his tuft of hair, his feather, his little ears. Okay, now, what I also did was I put little cuffs on his shoes here. So I took 2 bands and just did a figure 8 on my hook like this. I pushed my hook through the end cap of his shoe, pulled these 2 bands that I twisted back through, up his leg, and then rolled them down so that it looked like a cuff of a boot. To the other side, 2 bands, 1 twist through the end cap, pull these through, and roll down to show the cuff of a boot, like that. The other thing you can do is the little dagger that I have on the side here, and what I did was take a single brown band, wrap it once and twice on my hook, and then I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brown bands. Again, you're going to cap them, and you can make this as long as you like, but when I saw him it was just a or the picture I saw of him, it was just a little dagger, so I'm only doing it short, but you can make it long for a sword if you choose. It's completely up to you. I'm going to take a couple of the light coffee colour. I'm going to take 2, pull it through. I'm not going to reclaim just yet. Like we do with the shoes, I'm taking another 2, wrapping once and twice. I'm now going to reclaim, like that. I'm going to take another 2, and we'll slide all these on. Reclaim, like that. Take the side closest to you, up and over, and you're just going to splay this out and wrap it around the top of the dagger, like so. Now if you want to do it more than once, that's fine. Just do a twist in it so that it's a little tighter and it doesn't come unraveled. So there we go, that was how I did the top of his little dagger, like that. To secure it, you can either slip it through the side of his belt, or the other way, push your hook through the centre. So you've got it through the centre, single brown band, pull it through, okay? And then just take one from each side, a loop from each side of his jerkin. So there's one, and there's the other one there. Put your hook through one side of the brown band and pull it through. reclaim one over the other, and then you're going to splay it out and pop your dagger head through, and it will just be sort of disguised in the other bands. But that's how I did his little dagger on his hip. So there you go, there's Peter Pan. I've got a number of them now, and I hope you enjoy making him. Take care. Bye.